Yo, what it do with the two, man? It's your boy Ryan Film Study here, and today we're diving into the Ravens, a team that I believe has found the key to their success this season, and it all starts with a duo in Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, of course. But before we dive in, if you're new here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay in the loop on all our football analysis. Now, I know the Cowboys defense has been taking heat for the recent struggles against the run, especially after facing two monster performances. But let's be honest, we can't be too hard on them. Well, at least I won't. I know America has been very hard on them. They had to go up against one of the most nonchalant running backs in NFL history, who dropped 4 touchdowns on their head in a single game. And then they faced a backfield featuring Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. So it's no wonder that Dallas struggled. And Henry and Lamar are both top 10 in rushing this season, and that combination is lethal. And we all knew that once the Ravens figured out how to maximize this synergy between these two, it would be game over for most defenses, and especially Dallas's. Before the season started, we had high expectations for the Baltimore Ravens, especially with the acquisition of Derrick Henry in the offseason, pairing Henry's bruising north-south style with Lamar Jackson's elusive dual-threat play. It makes them one of the hardest backfields to defend against, if not the hardest. But let's be real, the Ravens didn't start the season as hot as many of us thought they would. Instead of coming out 1-1, they actually lost their first 2 games, putting them in a bit of a hole. It was surprising, to say the least, because we didn't expect a team with this much talent to stumble out of the gate. Well, at least not with the Raiders. I definitely did expect them to lose against the Chiefs, but some didn't. But the thing about those early losses is that they forced the Ravens to look inward and figure out what's working and what's not. They've had the pieces all along, but now they're starting to hit their stride. It's not just about getting wins, it's about putting together a sustainable game plan that will carry them deep into the season, and that plan lean on the run game. Last season, the Ravens led the league in rushing attempts as a team, and their primary running back was Gus Edwards, who put in a solid effort. But check this out. Edwards had just 198 carries. That's a respectable number, to say the least. But when you compare it to what Derrick Henry is on pace for this season, it's actually pretty wild. Henry is projected to get around 317 carries, which is 119 more rushes than Edwards had last year. Now, why does that matter? It's simple. The Ravens already led the league in rushing last year, and that was without a true workhorse running back like Henry. With Henry in the fold, not only are they probably going to lead the league in rushing attempts again, but they could dominate that category by a wide margin. Think about it. Lamar Jackson is still going to get his carries, and when you add Henry's massive workload, it's almost a guarantee that the Ravens will outpace the rest of the league by far in rushing attempts. This relentless ground game is what makes them so dangerous. Teams simply won't be able to keep up with the volume of runs, and it's only a matter of time before defenses start wearing down in late games. As of late, it's been a battle of running in the NFL, and Baltimore has the firepower to win that battle every week. Now, as the season moves forward, the Ravens have some interesting matchups that could really test their mettle. We all know about the Chiefs, and I've still got Kansas City as the top team in the NFL, but Baltimore is right there in the second spot for me. Not just in the AFC, but in the whole league. And if they can keep leaning on this rushing dominance, we might just see them make a real push for the top spot. Speaking of tests, when the Ravens played against the Raiders, that was a tough one. Max Crosby and that Raiders defensive front gave Baltimore a lot of trouble, and it showed. Crosby was a force all game, disturbing both the run and the pass. It wasn't just him, though the entire Raiders defense came to play. They made it hard for the Ravens to get into any rhythm offensively, and it led to Baltimore taking another loss. That Raiders defense is no joke, and they exposed some real issues that the Ravens will need to address if they want to turn their season around. And I think that's exactly what the Ravens felt coming out of that Raiders loss, something they had to change. They couldn't afford to drop another game, especially with all the talent on this roster. So what did they do? They came out the next week against Dallas and absolutely dominated. The rushing duo of Henry and Lamar Jackson combined for over 200 rushing yards, and that was the difference. The Cowboys simply couldn't stop them, and this was the performance Baltimore needed to get their season back on track. So what's next for the Ravens? Honestly, it's up to them. They've got all the pieces. Lamar and Henry complement each other perfectly, and as long as they stay healthy, the sky's the limit. We could be talking about this team making a serious Super Bowl run, but they've got to start stacking wins. We know they have the talent. It's about execution. But with all that being said, before I wrap this up, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Ravens offense is the most dangerous in the NFL right now? And where do you rank them among the top AFC teams? Drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Personally, I've got high hopes for the Ravens, but it's still hard to bet against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are my favorites for the Super Bowl this year, but the Ravens are right on their heels if they can get all the things figured out just like they showed in the Cowboys game. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload.